Walking down the street, watching ladies go by watching you.
Don't read me. Yes, I know now after I've edited the video that I did have makeup stains on my shirt after I stretched before this video.
Watching you, my babe.
You're beautiful. You're beautiful. Yeah, you're beautiful. So beautiful.
I didn't really want to do a video on this subject. I had came on earlier this week and I had recorded another version of this and it was going to be a naked vlog, but I decided not to. And I'm wearing this particular shirt, Bands Off Our Bodies, for a reason, not just for abortion purposes, but against the anti-trans legislation attempting to snatch away gender-affirming care for trans people that is ultimately going to affect cisgender people as well. And there's a reason why I'm doing this video. So we've all been privy to this quote unquote gender war between cis women and trans women that spurred several days ago with a video response from a supposedly hilarious comedian in response to a trans woman discussing the gatekeeping of periods or menstrual cycle, giving birth, and things of that nature. And of course, this comedian, being a cis woman, decides to go on a rant that was very transphobic indeed, yelling, "Protect Black women, who's going to protect Black women?" And seeing the response has really just exhausted me to no end, because I'm really tired of this conversation about trans existence and the stupid idea that trans women are attempting to erase cisgender women. And all of a sudden people are like, "Don't call me cis. That demeans my womanhood," and all of this. When in reality, cisgender is a scientific term that describes the type of woman one is. Not only do you have cisgender women, you have Black women, you have tall women, you have short women, you have older women, you have younger women, you have masculine women, you have feminine women, you have nice women, you have professional women, you have women who are educated, you have women that are intelligent, smart, and brave. These are all terms to describe the type of woman. And these things are not slurs, but for some reason, cis is a motherfucking slur. And I'm trying to figure out how in the hell did it become a slur to some of you all, when it's basically describing what you are. Cisgender means that you identify as the gender that you were assigned at birth. And when it comes down to the word trans, it denotes someone who does not identify as the gender that they were assigned at birth. It's all science. And for those of you all who are saying, "Well, it's a made up word," well, let me tell you something, baby. All words are made up. All words are made up, darling. So that is an invalid argument. And this whole argument stems from not even trans people. And I just want to know, how are we as trans people attempting to erase cisgender women? How are we attempting to erase anybody? What does my womanhood have to do with your womanhood? What does your womanhood have to do with the next woman's womanhood? I don't understand this. Every woman's womanhood is different. We are all navigating womanhood differently. We arrived at womanhood differently because we are trans. We know who we are and we know what we are. I cannot even tell you the many days or count the many days where I've stood in front of a mirror at my grandmother's house as a child, wishing that I looked more feminine, wishing that I was a girl because I did not fit the societal mold that the gender I was assigned. I did not fit that mold. I was outside of that box and I knew who I was and I'm comfortable with who I am. And by me being comfortable, I have no need to try to erase anybody. I don't have that kind of power. I am not the world power that decided to colonize the fucking earth. I am not the powers that are making laws to regulate your body, not only your body, my body, to regulate history accurately being taught. I am not the powers that be that are purposely oppressing people. And the fact that you are spitting rhetoric that is just unbelievable. It's funny that y'all are yelling protect Black women or protect women when I don't see half of y'all that screaming protect Black women marching for Roe versus Wade. I ain't see y'all saying shit when the government came for abortion rights and reproductive rights. Y'all, the same motherfuckers yelling protect women, but y'all sat there and laughed and saying Meg Thee Stallion lied about what happened between her and Tory Lanez. Y'all the same motherfuckers that talk protect Black women, but y'all don't believe women. Y'all just totally say that women lied when they come to you about being assaulted or talking about the shit that we go through. I understand that being misgendered hurts and it's annoying. I live with that every day. Just the day that I'm making this video today, I was misgendered repeatedly at my job. And let me tell you something. I had cisgender women to come to my aid and stand up with me against being misgendered. And they were just as upset as I was. So for you to say that trans women are trying to erase cis women, no, baby, we're looking out for y'all. We are on the front lines. When the same motherfuckers that are misgendering you because you don't meet the certain European aesthetic that they like, we cake for y'all when the Passport Brothers demean and talk trash about y'all. We were on the steps fighting for Black Lives Matter. We were on the ground. We were also on the ground when they came for Roe versus Wade. We are still on the ground. And it's a slap in our face for you to sit there and spit rhetoric after we have fought for y'all. And it is pissing me off because we have so many pick-me-ass trans people that are co-signing on the rhetoric. Those people do not speak for me as a trans woman. Just like I know that unhilarious comedian does not speak for all cis people. But what a lot of us are seeing are the trans people that are the cis people. I'm sorry. We're seeing a lot of trans people being pick-me's, but we're also seeing a lot of cis people, a lot of particularly cis queer people being on this bandwagon of misogyny, trans misogyny. Let me tell you something. And I know a lot of us out there were guilty of this because we didn't know better, but now that we know better, we do better. We have seen the misgendering of Wendy Williams, of Meg Thee Stallion, even the rumors about Ciara, about even some of your favorite singers being men. Even that comedian who said this shit said that she's often called a man because of her features. If you look at historically, Black women specifically were treated than less than, masculinized, treated like animals because they didn't fit not fit the colonizer's standard. Did you also know that before colonization, there were more than two genders? Look at your history. And it's crazy. It's crazy. Especially with cis queer people. A lot of my cis queer men that want to be transphobic towards trans women A lot of this shit comes, and I can speak as I've had to portray the life of a butch queen before I found my true self. The biggest thing in the gay community is ephimophobia. It hates anything feminine, especially with this whole mask for mask thing that pervades the gay community. And I'm just speaking on my own life experience. Being a trans person that lived according to what was expected. I always knew that I was different. I didn't know how to go about it. But back to what I was saying, ephimophobia, which basically comes from patriarchy and misogyny and a plethora of other things. But ephimophobia, whereas particularly in the Black gay community, they hate anything feminine. That's why you see a lot of people say no fats, no femmes. A lot of people in the community, and I'm speaking for this because I internalized this, and I've had to undo my own ephimophobia. I had to undo my own ephimophobia, my own internalized homophobia, and internalized misogyny, transphobia before and during and after I transitioned, because this is what was indoctrinated into us as a whole. But I need some of y'all to really, and I'm not bashing anybody, I need y'all to undo some of that ephimophobia and your own internal misogyny and anti-Blackness before you come for trans people. Do the work. And if you can't see that this is something to divide our communities, my thing is all of this war between cis men, cis women, cis people, trans people, and all of this other infighting, it has got to stop. The powers that be are coming for all of us. I have absolutely nothing against cis women. I love cis women. If it had not been for a cis woman and a cis man getting together and doing what they did, this fabulous Black trans child would not be before you. One of my favorite people who I love dearly, who are now an ancestor, was a cis woman. So how dare you say we are trying to erase the legacy that we came from? Trans people can produce too. There are non-binary and trans people that have menstrual cycles. But that's not for my story to tell, because number one, I have cisgender siblings that have periods, and I know for a fact that can't stand that shit and will wish it on their worst enemy. And I don't want that. Now, granted, my body goes through changes. I go through aches and pains because of hormones. I have things that happen to my body. It does not compare, it's nothing to compare to an actual cycle, but I didn't ask for that. I wanted my outside to match how I felt on the inside so I could be whole. I'm not trying to gatekeep anything. I don't want to gatekeep anything except for my safety and the cultures that are important to me. I'm not trying to erase anybody. I want everybody to be happy and be free. I want everybody to have a fighting chance. So to hear this rhetoric and to see people are willing to attack people like me, people are ready to have it to where people like me don't exist. And I have to hear this constantly. It's fucking annoying, and I'm getting sick and tired of it. And I want to say thank you to the cis people, and particularly the cis women, cis Black women who fight for the trans community, not just because we fight for us, but because you believe in being a decent human being. Thank you. Thank you also to the trans people who are really doing the work for the community. Thank you as well. And no, I ain't trying to be no pick me or anything. No. I'm going to give honor where honor is fucking due. But as for the rest of y'all that want to fulfill this rhetoric, y'all can keep on. Y'all can keep on. But y'all going to see exactly what we're talking about sooner or later when they come for your rights, when they start othering you as they always have done. And I'm going to leave that be. I'm going to leave that be where it's at. I love y'all. I love y'all for real. But this shit has got to stop. This shit has really got to stop. That's all I'm going to say. I love y'all. Live, love, and be free. Smooches.